past the place where she used to live, where she gave that man all she had to give. The grass has grown in where the dogs used to run. Chained up all day there couldn't have been fun. She can't even fathom how she lived that way, just cursing herself day after day, fighting all day and fighting all night, just seeing red, couldn't find the light. She says nobody should ever have to be that way. God was just testing the soul inside of me. She says nobody should ever have to be that way. And one day you'll die, and then you'll be free. Her son comes to visit with his baby girl. That precious little lady is her entire world. She does what she can like a good grandma should, spoiling grandchildren for the greater good. Got her divorce through a hammer and nail. Her old man died in a fight at the jail. The weight she had carried all of those years, those cold sleepless nights, shivering in fear. She says nobody should ever have to be that way. God was just testing the soul inside of me. Nobody should ever have to be that way. One day I'll die, and then I'll be free. She brushes her hair, she heads to bed, feeling so thankful for the life she has led. She turns out the light and she lays down her head. I love you, Jesus, is the last thing she says. So TK365 tonight, I realized, was a milestone. 150 tonight. 150 days that I've been able to make it this far. And I decided to do something that I've been planning for a couple weeks, but haven't actually gotten around to it. So this is a new song, but it's got an old soul. If you recognize the chords, if you listen enough to my music, you know that this is the same chords to This Ain't the Way It's Supposed to Be, which is a story about people that I used to live above. It's a made-up story, based on factual events, I guess, as close as any real news comes to be at these days. Story about this woman who lived below me when I lived in Meadville about 7 or 8 years ago. Just sounded like a horrible life. I only talked to her a couple times, but it just horrible things happened to her. And I wrote that song, This Ain't the Way It's Supposed to Be. Really liked it, but I really thought that it was way too specific. And turns out it's one of the songs that gets requested of mine, even though it's super depressing, like gets requested of mine all the time. And one of my biggest influences as a songwriter through the years has been Harry Chapin, the Cats in the Cradle guy. Harry has a song called Taxi, about a taxi driver who picks up a woman one night, and it turns out it's an old girlfriend of his, and they talk about getting together, and he knows it's all baloney, and she's just trying to be nice to him. She's some rich woman now, and he's just a lowly taxi driver. And as the years went by, Harry actually made sequels of these songs, and somebody had said to me at one point, "Oh, you should make a sequel to your song." So I've been thinking about it, and I figured, well, tonight of all nights, 150 days, I'll make a milestone, and we'll make a Meadville song part 2, which is what I'm going to title this, because this ain't the way it's supposed to be. kind of sounds a little weird, and everybody always calls it the Meadville song. So this is Meadville song part 2. Story about how the woman that I wrote about turned her life around, apparently, as I would imagine somebody would, that had been down so far by going to church and meeting good people and straightening her life out. Rebuilt her relationship with her son. The husband, who was a complete piece of shit in the song, dies in jail. You know, it's just kind of like a thankful life. And I decided instead of making the sequel even worse or sadder, I decided to make it a little bit more happy this time. Happy story, because we all deserve more happy stories these days. So I hope you enjoyed this song. This is TK365, and a series in which I'm attempting to play an original song every day for an entire year. So far I've made it 150 days. So congratulations to me, pat on my own back, whatever. And got a fresh new haircut for the occasion, so whatever. Have a good night. Thanks for watching.